Hello, this is a quick review of the Clarke 135 TE Mig Welder, and I hope it's useful to somebody if they're thinking of buying one. For starters, I'll say yes, you should buy one of these because it's a good little welder. However, it could be a great little welder if it wasn't for this useless gas regulator stuck on the back here, but we'll come back to that in a bit. I bought this Clarke to replace my faithful old SIP Mig 100, which has served me well for over 22 years, and it was second hand when I had it. It's a great little welder, but the difference between that and the Clarke is a couple of things. First of all, the wire feed system is a bit more robust, and plus it's got this mechanical gas tap, which means that it turns on just before the welding current. And maybe all modern welders are like this, but I was surprised by it, and it makes it easier to get a better weld right from the start. It's got wheels on it, but how about alloys and a body kit? No? Oh, and here's the onboard cam. Look, mind the compost, and the wheelie bins. Oh my goodness! So what about this regulator then? Well, as soon as I discovered the problem, I searched online and I found it being discussed on quite a few welding forums, and it's also mentioned on Machine Mart's own website within the reviews, even though the reviews are 5 stars. It's wrapped up on its own, and the instruction sheet says that it should be used on a setting of between 3 and 4. Watch and listen as I adjust it, and you'll see what the problem is. It actually worked between 3 and 4 just then, but listen. Rubbish. It only really works on 5 and 6, and you'll be using more gas than you really need to at that setting. Also, your welds might be very sooty, and you will be spending a lot of time going to get more gas. This is my old one from the SIP. They're about a tenner on eBay or 16 quid from Welder's Warehouse. Now listen to this. It's a lot smoother and therefore easier to get a good setting for your gas. This is how I do it using this gas regulator. First of all, I turn it all the way clockwise until it stops, gently stops, that is, and I put a piece of tape on there to mark it, just there, and then I turn it back 1.5 turns. Then I do a test weld, turn it back another half a turn until you can tell you're not getting enough gas, and then screw it back in half a turn. That way compensates for the pressure drop as the gas gets used up. But eventually you will use every last bit of gas in the cylinder. You'll know when the cylinder's nearly empty because you'll only have to turn the knob back 1 turn or even less. At that point, go shopping for another cylinder. But keep using the old one though, and get the most out of it. So why don't I just take it back and get my money back? Well, to be honest, it's not worth the hassle, especially when I've got a good regulator anyway. And for the sake of another tenner, you'll still end up with a good little welder. And so to summarise, and because I don't want to get any more boring than I already have, in this box you get everything you need to get started, including a mask, which I haven't shown you. And it's currently 240 quid from Machine Mart, or 290 with VAT. If you get yourself on their mailing list, You should be notified when there's a VAT free sale and get it for 240 quid like I did. Alternatively, Welder's Warehouse do a model very similar to this, slightly more expensive, but the guys down there really know what they're talking about and you'll get the support. It's a good idea to have an old pair of pliers handy for trimming the wire back to the nozzle, or even a pair of side cutters, but if I get any more I'm going to try and get some spring loaded side cutters so they're easier to use with the big gloves on. Not proper welding gloves, I know, but they'll do the job, and the first time that you weld with bare arms you'll understand why we wear overalls. Wire brush from the pound shop. Clean up before you start welding and then after every weld to get the soot off, so you can see what a fantastic job you've just done. These are actually my best mates while I'm welding. And of course everybody recommends that you have one of these. Not only can you see to do the job properly, it frees up your other hand to do whatever you want to do with. I picked this one up from Welder's Warehouse and I've been very happy with it.